Let's talk about PewDiePie saying nigger. To start things off, I'm going to play the clip in question that everyone's talking about, just so you have a little bit of context for what's happening.
What? What the fuck is happening?
What the hell was that? The potato was fucking insane. I was holding it so fucking straight.
What a fucking nigger. What a fucking nigger. Jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck? What a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad way. Jesus fuck.
Immediately, the internet flipped their shit, and that is to be expected. It's not every day that you hear YouTube's biggest content creators say nigger. However, just like the Wall Street Journal situation, where they tried to paint him as a Nazi, now they're trying to paint him as some sort of racist bigot. And all because of him using this phrase in frustration. He even apologized for it directly after doing it, and recently has put up an apology video admitting that he thinks he was wrong for having said it, in his own opinion. I find it really difficult to try to label him as some sort of a racist bigot because of one outburst during a game where he has no history of saying this anywhere else, and doesn't exhibit that behavior outside of the situation. It just doesn't make sense. Here, let's take a look at the apology video.
I wanted to make a statement on what I said in my previous live stream. You probably won't believe me when I say this, but whenever I go online and I hear other players use the same kind of language that I did, I always find it extremely immature and stupid, and I hate how I now personally fed into that part of gaming as well. It was something that I said in the heat of the moment. I said the worst word I could possibly think of, and it just sort of slipped out.
It makes a lot of sense to me. You gotta admit, when you get angry or frustrated, you're prone to being pretty immature, usually getting petty or throwing around insults. It's a very human thing to do. When you feel somebody wrongs you, you want to point it out and be like, hey, fuck you, asshole. But just calling someone an asshole is a pretty stale phrase. It's done all the time. So, some people up the ante subconsciously. They want to make it more apparent that they are angry, so they step it up and they use something like faggot. Quit being a fucking faggot. Why are you being a faggot? This is pretty much widely accepted, because now it's not so much of an issue because it's been thrown around all the time. You always hear it. And as a gay man myself, I have no problem with this. The word has no more power because it's been used over and over and over again to the point where the meaning of it being a slur is no longer present. And I understand, as a person who is in this demographic, that that is not the context that is being used, therefore I have no problem with it. So, homosexual slur, that's fine. You can throw that around, nobody gives a shit. But as soon as you get into racial slurs, suddenly it becomes a complete no-no word. You can't say it, you can't reference it. You can't even quote it directly when somebody else says it.
You know, if you don't want to support the alt-right, don't choose as a White House counselor a man who uses the word nigger, whose wife says that he did not want his daughters to go to a school with too many Jews.
We're done. I appreciate both your voices. I am still, the more I've sat here and listened to the fact that somebody used the N-word on this show.
Without being accused of some sort of racist bigot because you use the word that you're not allowed to use.
Oh no, he said the N-word, so now we gotta kill him because he is racist. It don't matter if he wasn't directing it at anybody else. He is racist. Now kill that faggot.
And I'm not going to make any excuses to why it did, because there are no excuses for it. I'm disappointed in myself because it seems like I've learned nothing from all these past controversies. I really want to improve myself and better myself, not just for me, but for anyone that looks up to me or anyone that's influenced by me. And that's how I want to move forward away from this. That's all I had to say. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Now, honestly, yes, it is a very charged word. But the problem isn't so much that, oh, it's a charged word because of its history and all this. No. It's because we keep giving it power. We keep lending it credibility as some sort of an offensive term that is somehow always associated with being a racist. You would never use this word if you weren't racist. Again, to the point where you can't even quote it without being called a racist for having uttered the word. Even just saying the word for no reason. Nigger. That'll be something of grave consequence, because for some reason that means you are racist, because the vibrations coming out of your face in the configuration that make up the word came out of your mouth. Therefore racism. I'm sorry, but that's not how this works. You can't just say, oh well, he's a racist, because he used the word out of context. He used it in a moment of frustration. It has nothing to do with thinking that he's superior to black people or anything like that. He admittedly said he thought of the worst word that he could use to reference this person. That word is very charged and has a very negative connotation. So therefore, again, like I said, subconsciously trying to up the ante and showing that he is really pissed, he said nigger. And by doing that, he made it pretty clear he was mad. That being said, though, does that have anything to do with him actually referencing race? Did he actually mean that, oh, this person, he's such a nigger, he's like a black person? No. That has nothing to do with it. It's the same way as if somebody were calling someone a faggot. And the way that PewDiePie handled this is a far cry from any kind of actual racism, unlike some YouTubers that we've seen in the past.
I'm okay. Fuck this. I'm on Blog TV with my fucking hands up. I'm not starting my fucking self. You fucking stupid bitch. This stupid fucking justice, all fucking righteous fucking nigger, Alex, is doing this shit. You fucking nigger. I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna find out. Yo, everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid nigger. Just type in the chat, Alex is a stupid nigger. Fuck him. Fuck him.
And people are trying to draw parallels to that, but here's the thing. In Keemstar's case, he is actually referring to a real black man. He knows the race of the person, and he's referring to Alex as a nigger. He is calling him that because he knows that's going to dig deep under his skin, and he's going to insult him with the derogatory word that is pointed at Alex's demographic. That being said, that is a highly racist situation. He is using that word in a racist context. He isn't just trying to use the word's weight and throw it at somebody as an insult. He is specifically using that because Alex is black, and he knows that will piss him off, and he's using it also to be derogatory specifically to him. Now, PewDiePie didn't use it in this context. He wasn't trying to reference the player's race. He wasn't trying to reference superiority over said race. That had nothing to do with it. But of course, we're going to be flooded with articles like The Guardian, which are basically just boiling down to, it's never okay to say the word, it's always racist no matter what context you put it in, and they don't think about the nuance of language and of how words work at their core. Going as far as to say that somehow this phrase being used is telling everyone that it's okay to be racist in the gaming community, even though we've just talked through why it has nothing to do with race. But of course, they're trying to use some sort of a bullshit argument like, oh, well, you know, they all say he isn't racist, but he uses these racist terms often, for what he calls satire. God forbid these people discover Mel Brooks. They'll have a brain aneurysm. That's all that needs to be said about the subject. He made a mistake. He may have offended some people. He apologized for it. Even though he shouldn't have to apologize for it, he did. And really, it should be left at that. It was a simple slip of the tongue that everyone understands happens at some point. This has been Epic Win Noob. I've overanalyzed this shit. None of you probably care. Goodbye. Oh, and I'll leave you with this.
Hey, the sheriff is on this. What are you saying? The sheriff is near. No, God blame it, dang woman. The sheriff is on this. As chairman of the Welcoming Committee, it is my privilege to extend a laurel and hearty handshake to our new nigger.